Good on, guys. I know, I've been out of my head today. And especially dealing with a hell of a lot of crap that we've been dealing with throughout the few years with politics going on, actually, let's say, call it about in the last several years. That has, and seeing the actions of what's been happening, has been putting me sort of a lot of questions about faith and trust and belief in something greater than ourselves, including our own value systems regarding our American system here, our country, everything that we held together. I make no apologies because it was something I had to get out anyway. And I'm not apologizing for sounding like anti American either. I will not. This is a few minutes before 5 o'clock p.m., and I still have about several more hours before midnight, and then after that will be July 5th. But this is still July 4th, and I'm still putting out this video. And you notice I put on a different shirt altogether. Gee, how can you not notice? It's red. It's white. It's blue. Red, white, blue. Closest thing I've got to patriotic colors at this point over here, Star Trekian as it may be, it's the only damn thing that fits in a bicentennial color scheme. Not the stripes, not the stars, but just the color scheme itself. So, I don't knock it. The closest thing I got besides wearing pins left and right, and that's all I got for patriotism, so you don't like it. So happy Trader's Day to us all. I drink the milk. Now then, if you're going to be asking me what changed my mind, let's just say after doing some soul searching at this point over here, thinking and sleeping about it, and coming across a few things of research that tried to put me through the test. Believing in something hard enough, and then having that challenged like crazy is gut-wrenching enough as it is, because it tears you apart left and right. I was taught to believe in the good nature of this country. I was taught to believe that this country was the best. I was taught to believe many things about this country. And yes, over the past several years, it has been put to the test a great deal, because I had seen more and more atrocities happening left and right, not to mention doing more research concerning about my country's past and the things that keep popping up that would make sure that this country would be the most piece of shit ever thing. Yeah, I said it, I'm not pulling it back. And with that opinion, it made me feel so lousy to be American at this point over here. I still hadn't gotten to that crossover point of denouncing myself as an American and as somebody else, because I realize something else. There are such things that transcend our belief in our education. It is something that instilled in each of us. And if we actually look hard enough to find that essence, that makes things understandable, that puts things in clarity, we will never understand it, because we're not meant to understand that portion of it. We're meant to accept and move on. But a lot of people challenge it, and I do challenge it. And then I have to discover the reasons why I had to challenge it in the first place. Besides all the damn arguments and all the damn stuff happening, I know my own damn ego was running the whole damn show. My own damn personality at this point over here was telling me that I am no damn good to anybody and everybody. My own personality, my own destructive nature inside of myself would say that I would be a better trader than I am a better supporter, or I'm a better patriot. Because some things would transcend more deeper than that. I know my own damn brain is out to kill me. Speaking to the people out there who believe in such things, and you know who and what I'm talking about. But to think of it as the core values and core beliefs are still buried deep. And I have to still reaching for those core values and core beliefs deep inside of myself. Because somewhere in there are the answers. Such things are beyond faith and belief and logical explanation. If you believe in a certain thing that only believes in the five senses and what a biological organ squirts and believes, that's on you. That's your personal choice. But for me, sometimes I did have a personal choice. It was instilled into the very heart, into the very essence of what it is to be what you are and what you believe and what you stand for. And sometimes hearing everyone else's remarks of saying how they think America should be, I say it's still your personal choice, at least for me. You go by deep, you go by guts, you go by deep inside that you can't even explain. You go by the motivations, you go by spiritual, if shall I say it? Because I know a lot of people out there who don't believe in their own biological senses and their own logic, beyond their own narrow scope. People who keep believing and thinking about the spirituality being greater and then try to promote it and trying to force that down people's throat. Sometimes you just can't go by that. Unless, of course, you had something that you already felt inside. Now, for me, I didn't know when I was a young damn kid what was going on until I had gone through an experience that scared the hell out of me. Now, if any one of you schmucks out there actually watched the damn videos for the past couple of years of what this lunatic was going through, then maybe you had an idea what was driving me in the first place. And you can put it in the comments. You can subscribe. You can give me a flip off if you need to in the comments. I don't care. But you can tell me in your own personal words. It doesn't mean I'm going to have to listen to the damn thing, because I already know what I experienced, and I know it was something greater than myself. And the thing of it is, I had reinforcements as well. I may not understand and I may not appreciate the history of this United States of America. I may not appreciate some of the darker natures of it, and I understand it has a hell of a lot of darker natures to it. But I understand it has a hell of a lot of lighter natures to it that we still have to examine, and we still have to do, and we have to do right by ourselves and our generations at this point over here. Even if it means we may not like what the hell's going on at this point over here. If there's something that's driving us to go forward, we go forward. We don't question, we do. Now, somebody want to explain that to Moses a long time ago when he was kicked out of Egypt and settled in the land of Moab. Somebody want to tell him at that time what was driving him. There are certain things at work right now that we have no idea, both good and bad, are trying to tear us apart or put us together. We have to do soul searching to understand it, whether or not it's good for us or not. Now, earlier, the past several videos, yes, I've been going absolutely insane over the damn fireworks, and I have problems with those. Tonight is going to be the night I allow it to happen. Because tonight is an anniversary, and I will not abandon that. Because I still am American, born and bred. But more than that, there is powers and things beyond myself that I still have to acknowledge. There is a force out there, for me personally, that I call God, that I understand, barely. So, spiritual adventure as I go. But I celebrate the liberty today. I celebrate Lady Liberty. I celebrate the spirit of liberty. The essence of it. The concept of it. Of what drove our colonists to do what they did. Despite all the misgivings, despite all the negative baggage that they had, dragging it forward just to get a country going, despite all the muck and mire and the pig troughs and the manures and this stinky landscape, no matter whatever happens. I was told a long time ago that manure actually is a fertilizer. And things actually grow out of a stinky soil. Out of volcanic soil is the smell of sulfur. And through that, somewhere in there, gardens grow and paradise blooms. Out of a volcanic chaos, life happens. Life is nourished. Think about that one if you're an atheist. You may call it one thing or another. I don't have to explain it. I don't have to label it. I don't have to do anything except acknowledge it and move on. I move on knowing that I'm still an American. I admit my country was born out of chaos and confusion and a hell of a lot of strife and gripes and grumbles and lying and cheating and thieving and conning and putting people into reservations that they shouldn't have been done in the first place and telling the people they're all right and then they're not all right. In a country that is still tearing itself apart left and right and still blaming the others for its own choices and its own stupidity. For a country that's still struggling and striving to make sure that equal pay is for equal sexes. They equal sexes, regardless of what they are, have a choice, have a right to say, and have a right to be and a right to exist. That life matters. That freedom and choice for all matters. We're not celebrating for a country. We're celebrating for ourselves, our posterity, our generations. We're celebrating because of all the crap that we had gone through, the personal shit we've gone through, our country has put itself through and still going through, and all the dark corners of it all the darkened alleys we still make into light, that we look upon it and we learn from it. We cannot change the past. We have to dig it up and learn and study the hell out of it. And make sure we don't repeat those same damn mistakes again by making one similar to it again. We have to make sure that we are living the concept, the dream, the goal, the reality, the term America with a capital A on it. Not a little chick and then there's a little M in there and it says America on it. No, I say capital A. America. America is more than that. America is more than what we understand. America is what we've been sold. We bought it. We paid for it in blood. And we're still paying for that concept. We'll call it God-given right, but the problem is we gave it everything and more. And the thing of it is, I still have to get rid of that little thing we call manifest destiny. Because I knew that was an European ego trip that we had. But eventually, it was going to happen anyway. Because human beings were going to do this. We were going to go across the pond. We were going to be searching out new lands to exploit, and we did. And we found the easy marks, and we used them. And we created a country. There is both good and bad in our country. We celebrate the noble and ignore the rotten. But we have to look at it for what it is. In a perfect society, just like the damn pyramid on the back of the $1 bill. And with all the injustice that we've done to each other, we are still Americans. We are still bred and born as such. And we even extend that hand to those that we had put into those cages and boxes. And we called them reservations. And I would extend my hand in apology to those that we had done to. I would extend my hand to those that we had brought over by force to create a country. And I would say, I am sorry and I apologize on behalf of my ancestors. I hope and pray this will never happen again. America means a lot. It demands a lot. It asks for more. It is not divine. It is not holy. It is not the shrine. We do not hold one religion as its primary. We hold many religions in plurality. We hold many beliefs. We value each other's beliefs. We share in each other's freedom of expression, despite the fact that the expression may be a gun. And at times the gun was necessary. And maybe in other circumstances. But to kill each other in the name of insanity, no. Because the ghosts that have inflicted harm on it, the ones who pulled the trigger, the ones who actually had the intent on it, used the tool. And those who supported those who support the gun. The fear, the trepidation, the terror. We want the gun because it theoretically holds power, but it holds tyranny as well. It holds the power of tyranny. It is a double-edged sword. And we have to acknowledge that. We have to acknowledge that we also have a process. A due process, if you will. We have to acknowledge that we have a way of treating each other fairly in court systems. And how we treat each other in the voting booths. And how we vote and what we vote for, and given the freedom of choice to do so. And the ability to do so without hindrance. And we have to celebrate that tonight as well. If we are celebrating freedom and liberty for all, we must celebrate that as well. We can celebrate everything that means a lot to us. But this matters to each and every one of us. And we cannot be ignorant of our past. We must keep learning from it. We must keep discovering new avenues of what it meant for every one of our people who came over to the waters, willingly and unwillingly. There are stories. There are stories. Untold riches. Untold adventures. Untold trauma and horrors. We must learn from each other. We must value that. We must document it. We must celebrate those who have bled and died for the concepts, for the country, for their beliefs, regardless of who and what they were. Of who and what they were. And celebrate those who still serve of who they are and what they are. We are celebrating 265 days. Scratch that. Years of our country's birth, of our country's creation. Imperfect, impure. Cue the music of our times. This is what we celebrate tonight. This is what we celebrate today. And what we continue to celebrate, regardless of our objections. I may not like the fireworks, personally. Tonight I will celebrate. I will see a huddled dog in a bedroom. I will place her into a area that's got some music to it, hopefully. And I will keep her company. But knowing that the fireworks are out there, I know the fireworks in my heart matter more than the aerials. The other thing I'm worried about is the fires that it may cause out here. And I have to put my faith and trust in my fellow men and my fellow neighbors and my fellow people that no harm will happen tonight. My fellow citizens, my fellow Americans, my fellow patriots, my fellow people of this country who've come in legally and illegally. I give you a wholehearted happy birthday, America. Regardless of what your faith and your belief and whatever you are and whoever you are. America is more than what we know of. It's not the promised land. It never was intention to be the promised land. But it is a land that we can still work with if we work at it together. Regardless our differences that tear us apart left and right. Regardless of the anger and hatred that we had fostered. That divide us still. And blame the others. Because they cannot see what's going on, blinded by their own fear and ignorance and arrogance and ego. President Lincoln also felt the same thing when he looked at his country being divided. I imagine that there are words recorded of what he thought and felt about it, and there are many speeches, and no, I'm not quoting them. Except to think and feel that he had a great love for his country and his countrymen, and he hated seeing it being torn apart by their own petty needs and their own bickering and their own attitudes and their own beliefs. What he went through to put this country back on a path before his life was ended. Because of fear, anger, and hatred and ego. That's what murdered him. That's what murdered him. We have to remember that. We have to remember we're not going to do the same thing to ourselves. Because if a country means that much to us, we got to put everything else on the line, and we have to put everything else on the side to make sure that our way of life, that we understand it, is still there, and not trying to tear each other apart over it. We may have our differences, We're still Americans, damn it. We're still Americans. With a capital A. Enjoy your 4th. Enjoy your fireworks. The fireworks of your heart. The fireworks of your mind. Just please don't burn down your damn neighborhoods. That's all I ask. We're in a drought. Be kind to your animals and be kind to those who are suffering. Because we don't take too kindly to loud bangs that much.